Yesterday was the day that we got the full-on official trailer for the Netflix live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender show, and we broke it down and gave our thoughts, but now I want to run through it piece by piece and showcase a good number of things that you may have missed or want more knowledge on. My fellow benders from all four nations, welcome to Uncle Iroh's Tea Shop at the Jasmine Dragon. Find yourself a seat, grab some jasmine tea, and enjoy the video. Like the video if you enjoyed the trailer, and let's see if we can hit a goal of 50 likes on this video. So we are not going to waste any time in this type of breakdown, and I'm going to run through a lot of the shots in this trailer detailing things that you might have missed or do want more knowledge on. And to be clear, this does not include every single shot in the trailer, because there are shots in this trailer where there's really nothing to break down, and it's filled with stuff that even the most general fan would know. Starting with the opening shot, this is a Fire Nation Navy cruiser, but it's particularly the flagship of the fleet. You can tell that by the fact that it's got the dragon attachment on the front. It is the one that leads the fleet and is particularly under the command of Commander Zhao. Iroh is also seen on the ship with the Zhao during the pre-attack stage on the Northern Water Tribe at the finale of Book 1. This shot next is a showcase of the forest that was burnt up during the Winter Solstice arc, where Aang and the gang go to a village that was being attacked by the Heibai spirit. The next two shots consist of the Fire Nation during the war as they are attacking the Southern Air Temple. You can see Fire Nation troops, and you can also see air nomads clashing with each other. The next two shots showcase Fire Lord Sozin, as you can tell by his white beard and his getup, and he is bending fire against an air nomad, and some predict is the air nomad monk Gyatso. You can also see that there are some Fire Nation troops behind Sozin, who I would presume that this air nomad beat in a battle. This shot takes place in the Fire Nation throne room as seen by its design and the dragon scales in the background here. This is definitely something people missed in one of these next shots, where we are seeing our gang talking to somebody in a village, but you can't see the front of them but only the back. Just by looking at the hair and the fact that Sokka is bending down to talk to the person who is clearly sitting, we can tell that this is the character Teo. Teo is the son of the character the Mechanist in the original animated version. The next shot is something people might not completely take in. This animal is an ostrich horse, which is commonly used in the Earth Nation and the Fire Nation. These guys are Earth Nation soldiers, as you can see and tell based on the armor and some of the green shading on it. Most will recognize the next shot, as this takes place in the ruins of the Southern Air Temple, and this door on the left is probably the entrance to the main portion of the temple where all the statues of the avatars are placed. This particular shot is interesting as it's an overhead of what looks like people of the Water Tribe, and in particular I would say the Northern Water Tribe, as it seems like people are taking care for each other and what looks like the ruins of an attack from the Fire Nation during the battle in the finale of Book 1. This shot has probably already been broken down, but I'll just do it again for everybody here who might not have been aware of it, but this is Kyoshi Island, as you can tell by the statue right here in the middle. This next shot is of Aang on Kyoshi Island recreating the iconic air scooter shot of him running into the statue. Die-hard fans already know what this is, but for general fans out there, what this thing is called is an air scooter, so now you know. This particular Fire Nation ship in this shot is Zuko's, and you can tell by its size and also because of the fact that the front is a regular Fire Nation cruiser design. This next one is a bit of a guess on my part, but if this particular shot is taking place in Iroh's quarters on the ship, this picture is of his son. He lost his son during the war, and so this is my best guess as to who that could be. In the original animated version, it's only just of his face, but this one is of his whole body, so maybe they changed it up a little bit. This next shot is filled with a lot of cool details to pick apart. Number one, on the left side, you can see that there is a map of the entire world featuring the Fire Nation, Earth Nation, Water Nation, and Air Nation. This map is featured at the opening credits of every episode in the original cartoon. On the very far right, you can see a drawing of what looks like a Kyoshi warrior. In the middle, right next to this picture that Zuko puts up of Aang, you can see another drawing of the avatar Yang Chen. She was the last air nomad version of an avatar before Aang came around. I love that this is the particular avatar that's on his board, because this isn't just some random past avatar. It's the last avatar that was an air nomad, and so it means that Zuko was studying hard about that culture in order to make sure he was ready to capture Aang. There are a few other pictures of stuff on the wall that I can't quite pin down as to what they are, so if anyone wants to help out in the comments, let me know if you can see what they are. This small shot here is just an extension of what I pointed out earlier, where you can see the carriage in the background behind Iroh that was of the Earth Nation soldiers who captured him. This is also a shot that's been broken down enough, but just in case anybody doesn't know, this is the Agni Kai between Zuko and his father Ozai, where he burnt his eye after he disobeyed him in the war meeting he was a part of. One of the next several shots that I've seen people be a little confused on is of Aang when he's gliding in the night over what looks like a walled-off city. Now, famously, everybody who knows the show knows that the most famous use of a walled-off city is Ba Sing Se. That city is also not in the show until Book 2, so this would be way too far in advance to be this place. My only best guess, if you are using the episodes of Book 1, is that it's the city in episode 16 called the Deserter where they go to the Fire Nation Cultural Festival. But if my memory serves me correct, Aang never glides into that one or above it. If anybody here has any ideas as to what this place could be, let me know in the comments below and try and research it as best as possible. I think this next shot sent people through some puzzlement, weirdly enough, but I guess for me it was obvious who it was when I first saw it, but this is the Heibai spirit in his more monstrous form. In this shot, we see Fire Nation soldiers behind the command of Commander Zhao as they are walking through Kyoshi Island, and on the very far right, I had to frame it frame by frame to get to the very last second. You can see a group of Kyoshi warriors behind our girl Zuki. The character next to her is a new character who is like the new Oyagi for the village. The character is being played by the actress Tamlin Tomita, who is a very well-known actress in past films. You'll also notice in some of the action shots in this sequence that Sokka is wearing his Water Tribe gear and not the Kyoshi warrior gear and makeup, which famously he is known to wear in the original animated cartoon. I guess this is probably another change that they are making, but I can only assume that it might take place after he loses the makeup and that armor, but I could be wrong about that. The next shot is not for me to point out the fact that this is Omashu, because everybody here knows that this is Omashu based off the system of chutes that are used to help transport things in the city. The thing to point out in this case is anybody who didn't realize it, but Aang is flying with our boy Teo again. I pointed him out earlier, and this is him now, flying with him instead of being on the ground. This next sequence is pretty interesting because even myself, I didn't notice this at first, but this could be a possible showcase that they are tying in one of the storylines from Book 2 into the first season. It looks like our gang are in a cave system, and something somebody theorized is that the people Aang are with are the group of travelers that they come across in the episode of The Cave of Two Lovers. I'm not saying that this is true in any way, but I'll be very curious to know if anybody here thinks that this is the case. I'm not sure exactly why they would take this particular episode into Book 1, but I guess I could understand why, because it's not the most important episode in the world that could have a direct connection for it to be in either Book 2 or Book 1. You could easily take that episode in Season 2, or in this case Book 2, and place it into Book 1, and you wouldn't be confused otherwise. It feels like they were in the same timeline. In this particular shot, you can see Appa flying overhead of a Fire Nation cruiser, and you can see someone riding him at the top. That is Sokka, as he drops off Aang onto the ship. I think that this is the scene at the beginning of the season where he attacks Zuko and his ship after he was captured. In this particular shot, Katara is fighting somebody, and at first, it is a little difficult to make out who it is, but if you stop it on a particular frame, you can see that the face is of Zuko with his scarred eye. This is the sequence during the finale of the Siege of the North, where he is capturing Aang and he took him up the mountain into a desolate area where they had nowhere to go. You can tell this by the fact that he's wearing a particular garb, and that garb is the only one that he wears during Book 1 of that scene. A big change to this area as well is that it's not a cave anymore, and it's an actual place with a statue and architectural design. That's really all I could gather in. Now I will say, in fairness to you all, I know I probably pointed out some stuff that was pretty obvious to some fans, but I wanted to make sure that I pointed out certain things that may have confused some just in case, and for those general fans as well. This was just a fun video that I wanted to make afterwards with regards to this trailer, and even when breaking it down, it gave me the ability to keep watching it over and over again, which I enjoyed because I really did love this trailer. The most important part of this video now that I want to see from you all is for you to comment down below if you noticed anything that some people might have missed. As I said already, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like, and if you enjoyed the trailer as well. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and turn on that notification bell for when I upload in the future. On your way out of Uncle Iroh's tea shop, be sure to let him know how much you appreciate his jasmine tea and his words of wisdom that come with it. I hope everyone here has a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you soon for more Avatar.